Hey guys, welcome back. So in this today's session, we are going to see about the what are the different types of addresses mechanism which are used in the TCP IP model, right? So for if you want to understand this topic, first you should have the idea about the TCP IP model, right? So now see that if you know that, so in TCP IP, how many layers we have, right? We have 4-layer architecture as well as the 5-layer architecture, right? So the application layer, presentation, session layer will be combined into the application layer, then transport layer, the network layer we called as the internet layer. So if we combine data link layer and physical layer, that is what we called as the link layer, right? Now see that we have application, transport, internet, link layer. So it means that when you are sending the information from one system to the another system, right? So it is going to use the which model? It is going to use the TCP IP model. So right, so first we have the application layer, then transport layer, then internet layer, final one is the link layer. So here also same, you will be having the application layer, transport layer, internet layer as well as the link layer. Now for example, if you want to communicate one application to the another application, right? So what I'm trying to say here is, suppose for example, here you are the person, so through in your PC you are going to communicate with the another person. So it means that here the protocol or communication we are using, suppose I want to send the email from myself to the my friend somewhere, right? Now which one I need to access? I need to access the Gmail server, right? So Gmail server means I need to know what is the my friend Gmail account, right? So that only I can able to send the information from the my system Gmail to the my friend Gmail system, right? So for that, if you want to send the Gmail, it is not sufficient to send alone, right? So for what you have to do is, if you want to send some content or information, first it should be, we have to identify what is the application layer of the receiver machine, right? So for identification purpose, in each layer we have something called as the addressing mechanism, right? So if you want to identify what is the protocol or application layer itself we are going to communicate, we should know what is the address which is used to identify the either client machine or server machine. The same way here we have the address for transport layer, internet layer as well as the link layer. Now if we see that application layer, so application layer can be used unique identification mechanism, that is what we called as the specific address, right? So now we will see what is the meaning of specific address, why we require something called as the specific address if you want to communicate with the one application layer with the another application layer, right? Now see that, first we will see that, so application layer, this address, specific address was designed by the user for accessing web resources through the different application on the network. So if you want to access one different network from your network, then we require some unique identification mechanism, that is what we are calling as the specific address, right? Now what is specific address? What are the types of specific address we have? Suppose for example, my requirement is something that I want to send an email from my friend. Now what is my requirement? I know what is the email of my friend, right? Then only I can able to send, right? Now if you see here, what is my friend name? Something Virat Kohli, right? So this is what we calling as the unique user name. Suppose if you are assigning same Virat Kohli to some other, it is not possible, right? So it is the unique username, then it is followed by the @ symbol, then it is followed by the either maybe Gmail or it may be Yahoo, Hotmail, whatever it may be. This is the server name, right? Now this is the top level domain, something .in, .com, .uk, something. This is what we called as the top level domain. It means that you have the unique username @ sign, then gmail.com something. So this is what we called as the at the application layer. It means that Gmail is one of the application, right? So at the application layer, if you want to communicate, we require something called as the specific address. Now you understand what is the requirement of the specific address. If you don't have the specific address, you cannot able to send an email to your friend, right? Suppose for example, we will consider one more scenario. You want to access some web resources, right? Now what we used to type something HTTP, which protocol we need to use? HTTP or HTTPS, right? Something google.com, right? Now this is what we called as the top level domain, right? So this is what .in, .uk something we have, right? So this is what we called as the top level domain. Once it is done, so this is what we called as the, after top level domain, this is called as the second level. So this is what we called as the protocol. Now if you want to access some information, this message we need to type, right? So this is also one of the specific address for accessing the particular application, right? Now what is the meaning of this one? If you see that, this is an example. Suppose see that, so later on we'll discuss what is the meaning of this one is. Now what is this top level domain name? So this is the .com. So after this, this is called as the, what is this is called second level domain. So if you have another extra things, it is called as the third level. Something if you call abc.edu resources, something if you have, this is called as the fourth level domain, something like this. This is what we called as the protocol. So after accessing this one, right, you are going inside of the specific computer or whatever it may be. Now what is our intention? We need to access some content or file, right? So here we need to find out the where is the file path, right? This is also important, right? Where is located. So for that, what is required? That file path is required, right? If you see that, this is a folder name 2020, again subfolder file, there here we have some HTML file. It means that we have the file path, top level domain, then second level, then third level, then protocol. So you don't need to write all these things in exam point. So what is the use of specific address means? In order to identify the specific application, we required something unique mechanism, that is what we called as the specific address in case of the application layer. That's it. Now it is completed. So now what is our next layer? It is the transport layer. So transport layer, so here we have the unique address mechanism, that is what we called as the port address. Now we will see what is the use of port address, how transport layer will be assigned to the port numbers to the source mission to the destination mission. This is the one more important point. So for demonstration purpose, I am going to consider this one. Let it be, this is my PC1, this is PC2, right? So in my PC, there are multiple processes are running. So multiple process means you can think in terms of the multiple applications are running. Suppose for example, this is my web browser, like something Google Chrome or whatever it may be, right? So this is my Chrome, this may be something YouTube, this may be something Facebook, whatever it may be some. So here also I am going to have the some web browser or web server. So let it be something Firefox, right? So here it may be running with Instagram or whatever it may be. Now see that in each system it is going to run with the multiple process. Now what is my requirement is that by using anyway, we know that by using of IP address, we can able to find out where is our source mission or destination mission is located. But the moment after identification of the destination mission, your part is not completed. Remember, your task is not completed. After finding with the help of IP address where your mission is located, the next very important point is that in this particular IP or particular mission, there may be hundred thousands of process might be running, right? So now see that, so here in this case, how many processes are running? For this example, we have the two processes. What is the web? One is the web server we have, that is running on the Firefox something. So one more is we have the Instagram process is running. Just for example, I am explaining. So out of these two processes, which one you need to access, right? So here there may be multiple processes. The meaning, if you have the IP address, it can able to locate or find a particular device. But the moment after reaching to the device, after finding the class or home, then next what is the thing you need to do? You need to identify the particular person, right? Suppose there is in a home, there are 100 people are there, right? So somehow you catch that where that particular home is located. So after finding the where that home is located, nothing but by using of IP address. Now what is our requirement? We need to go inside of this particular home. Next we need to identify out of 1000 persons, which persons you required. So each persons will be having the unique name or unique hall ticket number, whatever it may be. So this is what we called as the port addressing mechanism, right? So if you want to identify the one process to the another process, why we required identification here means there may be hundreds of processes are running in the each computer or system, right? So to identify the each process uniquely, we required something called as the unique address mechanism. Who will assign that unique address mechanism, and what is that unique address mechanism we call? That unique address mechanism we called as the port addressing, right? So who is responsible for assigning the port address? The transport layer is responsible for the assigning of the port address. Remember, so port address can be used to identify the one process of the communication to the another process of the communication, right? If you still don't understand, so let me take one example so that you will be understanding. Suppose for example, let it be this is process A, process B, process C, right? So now let it be for unique identification. I have given port number something 10, 20, 30. So here I have given port number something 40, 50. Now what is my requirement is something you take is a Gmail server. This is another Gmail server. This is Facebook. This is WhatsApp. This is something Instagram something. Now what is my requirement is that I want to communicate my Gmail server with the another Gmail server. Which means that what is we required? We are going to communicate with the one process with the another process. To identification of the particular process, we require something called as the unique identification mechanism, right? So that is what we called as the port address. Now which port number? This is my machine. So from here I am going to communicate with this system. After finding this system, I need to identify what is the particular process I required. So right. So for this example, I am going to consider. So this is my source port number. This is my destination port number. It means that I want to communicate from this port number to this port number. It means that this process should be communicated with this process, right? Now what the application layer will do is it will prepare the data, something specific address what we discussed in the previous, right? So once application layer part is completed, next network layer will come into the picture, right? So what network layer will do is along with your data is where it is prepared. It is prepared in the application layer. So application layer will forward the data to what? Transport layer. Now what is the duty of transport layer means? So it will perform the additional operation to the existing data. So that is what we called as the encapsulation operation. Now what is the duty of the transport layer? Which is going to assign the port numbers. Port numbers means what is your source port number? Nothing but source mission process number as well as the destination mission process number. Now what is my source port number? This is 10, right? So here they have considered A is going to communicate with J, right? For that they wrote here AJ. Let it be for example. So this is my port number 10 which is going to communicate with what? Port number 40. So now see that we have clear cut idea, right? So this process is going to run with this process. Done. That's it. That is what will be performed by the transport layer. So it means that we are going to perform something called as the process to process communication, right? So once it is completed, so what is the next layer? This same information will be forwarded to the network layer or internet layer, right? So what is the duty of network layer or internet layer means? So for this data it will add the some extra data. That is what we called as the encapsulation operation. Now we know that the process number or port number 10 should be communicate with the port number 40, right? So now where is that port number 40 is running? See here we don't know where is our server is located, our destination machine is located. So you know that you want to communicate with the port number 40. Let it be some Gmail server running here with the port number 40 in the particular system. Now question is that where that particular system is located, right? So after finding the particular home or particular system located, then only you can able to access the process, right? Now first thing is that after assigning the port number, we need to identify where the device is located. After location of the device, we can happily go inside of the port number. Now what is we required? We required something called as the what is the IP address of the something, let it be 1.1 IP address of this machine. Let it be 192.168.2.10 for this mission. Now what we have to do is where from we are sending the packet from the source machine is nothing but identification of this one is 192.168.1.1. What is the identification of this machine? 192.168.2.10. So after identifying this machine only I can able to access the port, right? So now who will assign the IP address? That is the unique address mechanism that is done by network layer. So along with your port number 10, source port number, destination port number, it is going to add the what is the source port number source machine IP address as well as the destination machine IP address. So it means what is the source machine IP address? 192.168.1.1. It will add one more thing, destination machine. What is that? 192.168.2.10. Right? This is will be done. So here who will give the identification of the device means that will be given by the network layer, right? Now see that this is the functionality of the network layer. After assigning of the port addressing mechanism in the transport layer, now assigning of the unique IP address or logic address will be assigned by the internet layer. Now final layer we have the link layer, right? So link layer is responsible for assigning the MAC address or physical address. MAC address or physical address. So as I told in the previous classes also, if you want to communicate with one different network with the another different network, we require something called as the IP address. But if you are communicating within your local area network, then by using of the MAC address alone we can able to communicate. Now question is that if you want to communicate within your network, then we require something called as the unique identification mechanism. That is what we called as the MAC address or physical address, right? Suppose if it is within the same network, means for example, see the same example we'll consider here. Now the data will be transferred to what? Data link layer. So it's the same data in the network layer is this one. Now what we have to do is, for existing data we need to add the some extra thing, that is what we called as the encapsulation operation, right? Now what it will going to do is, it is going to add the, so we have the identification, right? Two address, one is IP address. So here we will be having the MAC address of this, each and every mission will be having the unique identification, right? So that is what we called as the MAC address or physical address, right? So this mission also will be having the MAC address or physical address, right? So remember guys, if you are communicating within local area network, then MAC address or IP address will be helpful. If you are communicating with one different network to the another different network, we require IP address. At this case, it might be same network or it might be different network also. If it is different network, it is okay. But if it is same network, means we require something called as the MAC address or physical address mechanism also, right? So for that, after going to the network layer, when it is coming to the data link layer, I am trying to add the my MAC address of the this mission as well as this mission. Let it be this MAC address of this mission is AA, something like this. This mission is BB, right? Now here what we are going to do is, here we are going to add the, first we need to add the destination MAC address, then we need to add the source MAC address. Remember, first destination, then source for MAC address only. For remaining all cases, first source number will come, after that destination will come. For MAC address or physical address, first destination mission, then source mission. For port addressing or IP addressing, first source mission, then destination mission. This point you have to remember. So in later on, in next sections I will show practically why it is coming the first destination, after that Y source, right? Now see that. So application layer specific address is data is prepared. So now what is the function of the transport layer? Along with the data, it is going to add the two more things. One is called as the, what is the source port number, what is the destination port number. What is the use of this one? Identification, which is used to identify the unique process which is running in the one system to the another system. Once it is done, the packet will be forwarded to the next layer. So here it is going to add the, what is the source IP address, what is the destination IP address. Here the unique mechanism we called as the IP address in the network layer. So again this packet will be forwarded to the data link layer, which is going to add the destination MAC address as well as the source MAC address. The moment it comes to the data link layer, it will receive this one. The moment it goes to here, now see that this data will be removed. It means that it is going to performing the decapsulation operation. Encapsulation means the process of adding the extra information to the existing information we called as the encapsulation operation. So decapsulation means the process of removing the extra information to the existing information we called as the decapsulation. See, the moment it reaches to the network layer, I don't require the local area network, right? So it means that I don't require this extra information, right? So I am going to remove this one. After network layer, what is the thing we are going to do, right? So this is the layer, right? Transport layer, right? Now after identifying the mission, then what is the use of network layer? Not required, right? Now at this point of time, I identify the where is the mission is located. Now I don't require the, what is the IP address of the source mission, IP address of the destination mission, because I identified the where the particular mission is located in the network layer itself. The moment when I going for the reverse operation of the transport layer, I don't require. So now after identifying the process, right, I know where to go, what is the process it should be run. Now the moment when I'm going to the application layer, I don't require, right? After identifying the process, I know where my port number 40 is running. Now only data will be transmitted to the one place to the another place finally. But here these many things are required in between when you are sending the information from the one process to the another process. right? So in exam point of view, you have to take this diagram, then we need to explain what is the port address uses, what is the specific address uses, what is the IP address uses, then what is the MAC address or physical address. By using this diagram, you need to explain, right? So this is how port addressing mechanism works in the TCP/IP 4-layer architecture model. See, each layer will have the unique addressing mechanism. That is what this one, right? If you don't have any one of these address, then you cannot able to communicate from the one device to the another device, right? I hope you understand. Thank you very much, guys.